Hi everyone, welcome back to our segment Ask a Dermatologist. My name is Pramila and we'll be discussing all things skin, nails and hair with the dermatologist from Singapore, Dr. Teo Wan Lin from TW Skin. Today we'll be talking about oil cleansers. So when I was having my breakout, I was thinking of changing my skincare regime into an oil cleansing method by making oils with almond oil or like castor oil and stuff like that. Contrary to popular belief, that's what I was told in my internet research that the oils that are built up in our skin, these oil cleansers are something that help to break them down when they are cleansing. How valid do you think this claim is?
So the process that you're describing is actually known as emulsification.
Yeah.
So that's a process whereby something which either foams or like an oil, helps to grab all the dirt, the grime, the bacteria on a surface. Okay, it acts as a surfactant. And after that, you either clean it off with physical methods such as wiping it off or rinsing it off with water. However, I would like to clarify that no special cleansing method can actually treat acne-prone skin because acne itself is not caused by poor cleansing or even poor hygiene of the skin.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of factors we discussed in an earlier episode that involves genetics. A certain process known as inflammation, complicated by hormonal imbalances, excessive oil production. And when you have acne, you actually need proper medical treatment in the form of either oral tablets, certain prescription creams to treat the acne, and skincare should just be a part of the treatment process, and the main goal of cleansing really is just to remove bacteria, grime, oil without stripping the skin dry and without irritating skin. So for example, somebody who comes to see me for acne, if it is usually moderate to severe acne, so they would require some form of medical treatment. In terms of cleansers, I always recommend them gentle cleansers. In patients with already very sensitized skin, so patients with underlying eczema but also have acne, I sometimes would prescribe them an emulsifying ointment. So emulsifying ointment is like a century-old form of cleanser, and the base of it is precisely a mineral oil. There are, of course, so many different types of oil available, but there is no evidence to suggest that any of these oils are superior or if they don't cause allergies in people who tend to get allergies, and they certainly don't help acne solely. But it's just a form of gentle skin cleansing, and the thing with acne-prone skin is that they also require some form of cleanser with an antibacterial property. So sometimes we do prescribe them either triclosan-based cleansers, but that's a chemical antibacterial agent. In my practice, I actually formulate a honey-based foaming cleanser. So honey, as you may know from your reading, is a natural antibacterial agent, and it is also a natural emulsifier. So we've spoken about oils being emulsifiers. Things which lather up are actually the preferred forms of cleansers, because especially in our humid climate, we actually find that a lot of the grime accumulates in our skin, and it's best when you have something which foams up and rinses off properly. So honey does a very good job of getting rid of any surface bacteria. And as well as an emulsifying agent without actually dehydrating your skin like the usual chemical lathering agent, sodium lauryl sulfate.
So oils for cleansing, it's good, but it's good when it's done appropriately, I would say.
I think at the end of the day, it can evolve into some sort of fat, the way I'm hearing it from you, because mineral oil, for example, in a very pure form, simply acts as something that emulsifies. So it's gentle skin cleansing without irritating skin with, say, a chemical lathering agent. But that alone doesn't really make a big difference to your acne condition. However, using the wrong type of cleansers can actually aggravate your skin condition, meaning that you can get facial eczema. So when your skin is super dry, those deep cleansing washes, so I never prescribe them to my patients with acne. especially when they're already on acne treatment. They're usually just on a very gentle cleanser that complements the treatment. And at the end of the day, you want to treat your acne, control your oil production. But if you completely dehydrate the skin, okay, so I also caution against blotting. So blotting is a practice that sometimes causes a condition known as reactive seborrhea. So instead of getting less oil, your skin thinks it's dry and ends up producing even more.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you want actually is a cleanser that respects the skin barrier.
Yeah.
So it maintains moisture, a certain amount of moisture in the skin, while controlling oil production. And at the same time, you should treat acne medically.
Okay, so since we're on the topic of mineral oils, it is said that mineral oils moisturize our skin. You're saying that cleansers try to strip off the moisture. So this kind of introduce the moisture back. So what do you actually think about oil moisturizers? Oil-based moisturizers?
Yeah. So facial oils, for example, have become super fashionable in the last year.
Yeah.
From a dermatologist perspective, our skin is best likened to like a brick wall. Okay, the bricks are joined together by cement. When you have dry skin, when you have dehydrated skin, what is really responsible for that is that this brick wall model, the cement itself is deficient. The cement itself is not made up of any facial oil. It's not made of aloe vera. It's not made of coconut oil or almond oil. What's missing is something called ceramide, which is what we describe as a fatty lipid. So it's something which is naturally produced by your body, and it helps to maintain a protective barrier between your skin, your internal organs, as well as the external environment. So we would recommend in somebody with dry, sensitive skin a ceramide-based moisturizer, which is always a cream, okay, as opposed to like a frank oil. So the only oils we would use would be for cleansing, and they're basically compounded in an emulsifying formula, and it's also pretty good for removing makeup and very, very heavy debris without drying the skin, but not as a form of a moisturizer.
Okay, wow. So I'm sure most of us learned more about oils and the relation to our skin. So thank you, Dr. Teo, for joining us, and we'll see you next week.